Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamanatira Vanachadi Jamanatira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachadi Jamuna Tira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Kunjabi Hadi Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Gaur Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya We're continuing the Uddhava Gita, Canto 11, Chapter 11, Text 33. And we just completed a marathon of discussing for many, many days the previous set of verses, 29 through 32. Those verses were in response to Uddhava's question, two questions. Oh, my dear Lord Krishna, who do you consider to be your true devotee? And so there's a list of qualities of a devotee, 28 qualities in the response. And then the second question was, what activities do such qualified devotees, your true devotees, consider worthy of offering to you? In other words, connecting with the previous topic. The previous topic was fix your mind completely on me, and if you're not capable of that because the mind is colored or contaminated or polluted by attraction for sense objects, then two things: perform your duties without attachment, offering the results of your duties unto me. And the second, hear about me. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, along with that will purify as the other, well as the other will purify the mind. That is detached work, offering the results to Krishna. So in verse 32, there was the description of the unalloyed devotee, the one that's not mixed, but that unalloyed devotee then has the adhikar, or qualification, to not perform prescribed duties, instead keep the mind fixed on Krishna alone, which is not easy if you're contaminated, as we all have experience. So then text 33 follows from 32, that principle of Nishkam Karma Yoga, performing work without attachment to the fruits of that work, but offering to Krishna. And then this stage of no longer being obliged to follow the codes, the do's and the do-nots of Dharma. So more on that topic in verse 33, and it's going to take 4 days to cover it. So we're not going to have 4 days. We're going to have one of those 4. Here's the verse, text 33. My devotees may or may not know exactly what I am, who I am, and how I exist. Sound familiar, right? But if they worship me with unalloyed love, then I consider them to be the best of devotees. If they worship me with unalloyed love, then I consider them to be the best of devotees. Because the question was, who do you consider to be your true devotees? So there's gradations of true devotees. Those that have qualities, those that have the adhikar to no longer perform obliged work, and then those that may or may not understand me, but if they worship me with unalloyed love, they're the very best. Bhakta Atma Mata. Bhakta Tamaha. The best of the devotees. And the BBT purport reads, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, although the word Yavan is Yavan as, although Yavan indicates that Lord Krishna cannot be limited by time and space, he becomes limited by the love of his pure devotees. For example, Lord Krishna never steps 1 foot out of Vrindavan because of the intense love of the inhabitants for him. In this way, the Lord comes under the control of his devotees' love. The word Yaha indicates that Krishna is the absolute truth, who appears as the son of Vasudeva or as Shyamasundara. The word Yadrisha indicates that the Lord is the Atmarama, or completely self-satisfied, and also Aptakama, one who automatically fulfills all his desires. Still being affected by the love of his devotees, the Lord sometimes appears to be anatmarama, or dependent on the love of his devotees, and anaptakama, unable to achieve his desire without the cooperation of his devotees. Actually, the Supreme Lord Krishna is always independent, but he reciprocates the intense love of his devotees and thus appears to be dependent on them, just as he apparently becomes dependent on Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda during his childhood pastimes in Vrindavan. The word agyatva, or inexperienced or lacking knowledge, agyatva, indicates that sometimes a devotee may not have a proper philosophical understanding of the personality of Godhead, or, due to love, may temporarily forget the Lord's position. In Bhagavad Gita 11:41, Arjuna says, we just discussed it, yesterday evening, I have in the past addressed you as, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, without knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. Arjuna's words are ajanata mahimanam, have the same meaning as Krishna's words, agyatva mam, in this verse of the Bhagavatam. Both indicate incomplete understanding of Krishna's glories. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, pranayena, his forgetfulness of Krishna's supreme position was caused by his love for him. In this verse, Krishna excuses such lapses on the part of his devotees with the words agyatva, which indicates that even though devotees may not fully appreciate his exalted position, Krishna accepts their loving service. Thus, this verse clearly reveals the supreme position of bhakti. Lord Krishna also states in Bhagavad Gita 11:54, quote, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Paragraph. Although one may develop innumerable saintly qualities, like there's that list at the beginning of verses 29 through 31, qualities of a devotee, without love of Krishna, one will not achieve complete success. One must understand the personality of Godhead as he is and love him, even if one is not capable of analytically understanding the position of God. If one simply loves Krishna, then one is certainly perfect. Many of the residents of Vrindavan had no idea that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor did they know of Krishna's potencies or incarnations. They simply loved Krishna with their hearts and souls, and therefore they are considered most perfect. Very clear explanation. This example of Arjuna, not due to his love, not seeing Krishna with all of the majesty, etc. Bhaktisiddhanta's purport is short. Although a materialist or impersonalist may appear to be very highly qualified, without Krishna consciousness, such a person will never attain the success of life. One must understand the personal feature of the Absolute Truth and surrender unto him, even if one is not very intelligent. If he simply accepts that he is the eternal servant of the Lord, he will certainly attain perfection. The residents of Vrindavan had no idea or didn't understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They simply love Krishna as their most beloved. And it is for this reason they are considered perfect. There's a book that's been translated. It is a translation of Bhaktisiddhanta's commentary on the whole Uddhava Gita section. It's a big, thick book, and I'm reading from it. In addition to his own purports, etc., he glosses Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary and then presents his commentary. So it's in Sanskrit, and then it's translated. I don't know if it's in Sanskrit or Bengali. It's translated into English. So we're reading Bhaktisiddhanta's gloss of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, and then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. In this verse, the word Yavan is used to indicate that Lord Krishna is unlimited, beyond the jurisdiction of material existence. Still, he is captivated by the love of his pure devotees. It is said that Lord Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Now note, the BBT commentators are cutting and pasting from Bhaktisiddhanta's commentary from Vishwanath. Still, he is captivated by love of his pure devotees. It is said that Lord Krishna never leaves Vrindavan because of the love of the cowherd men and women. The word Yaha is used to indicate that the absolute truth appears as the son of Vasudeva. Yadrsha indicates that the Lord is completely self-satisfied, and Apikama means one who has nothing to gain from anyone else. And it does the opposite. Okay, I'll read it. Still, being captivated by the love of his devotees, the Lord sometimes appears to be dependent on them, needing them to fulfill his desires. Actually, the Supreme Personality Godhead is always independent, but he reciprocates the love of his devotees and thus seems to be dependent upon them. For example, Lord Krishna appeared to be completely dependent upon Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda as a child in Vrindavan. The word agyatva means ignorant, and it indicates that sometimes a devotee may seem to be philosophically naive and bereft of a proper understanding of the Lord. Here's Vishwanath says same thing. He says same thing. Those who worship me with purity or with great possessiveness, ananya bhavena, I consider to be the best devotees. He utters this with great respect. Krishna. These devotees I call the best. The sentence refers to the persons mentioned in the